Well, hello, Bill Shocker here. Welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Kind of a serious topic today. I got an email from somebody who is in the bowels of a very serious bout of clinical depression, and they asked me for ideas on eradicating depression. So I need to start this by saying that I am not a mental health practitioner. My doctorate was based on sales psychology, so I could be a salesperson. I could be a shrink for a salesperson. I could sit on the couch and tell me about your mother, and I'll tell you why you can't close sales. But in terms of clinical issues like depression, I'm really not a person qualified to discuss the eradication of any of the symptoms. However, as somebody who went through a major bout of depression in the mid-1990s for several years, being on some extremely high doses of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, I can give you a couple ideas in terms of what I did to eradicate my own personal demons and depression. So I think that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through these relatively quickly. You decide which ones work for you, which ones won't work for you. It's all good. Here's the first thing I would suggest you do if you have an elevated level of depression. You need to focus on what you have, not what you don't have. In other words, show gratitude. As you begin to show gratitude for the things that you have, the depression tends to lift. I found my depression happened when I started in this business and I wasn't getting the sales that I needed. So the depression came from something I didn't have, sales. And I think if you look at depression in general, you'll see that it really revolves around things that we don't have. Oh, I really want that person to love me. In other words, you don't have that person. Oh, I really want that car. In other words, you don't have that car, and that's what causes depression. Focus on what you do have. Be grateful for what you have. And that's a good first step in moving away from the depressive thought patterns that can cascade through our mind. Here's the second thing I would suggest you do. Give something back. I found that during my bouts of depression, when I went to the local soup kitchen and did stuff, donated money, whatever it happened to be, even if I didn't have a lot of money, just by giving something back, that was kind of depression relieving for me. I liked doing that. I liked putting money in the poor box at church, etc. Now, I'm not talking about great swaths of money. I'm talking about just enough to make me not be depressed. Here's the third thing I would suggest you do: personal reflection and awareness. Now, I told you that I've been meditating since I was 19 years old, off and on. I had found that during these bouts of depression, I was getting into meditation, not as much as I am now in the later years of my life, but it helped. It helped when we focus on now, not before, what caused the depression, not after, not future, what we need to get out of it. Just focus on now. That's helpful. The fourth thing I would suggest you do is keep busy. You know that old saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Well, an idle mind is also depression's workshop. Keep busy. Read. Go on the internet and start researching various topics that are of interest to you. Do things that are positive and promote feelings of well-being. And then the fifth thing I would say is rely on others. The deeper and more meaningful of a relationship that you have with other people, the more you can rely on them for help. Now, I never really had a deep relationship with my ex-wife or any other individuals in my life that I could rely on for this, so I was kind of on my own. But what I had found was that when there was somebody to talk to on a relationship basis, it made it easier. Okay, again, I am not a mental health practitioner. I do not want you to take this advice to the bank. All I am saying is that when I was clinically depressed and on great swaths of antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication, here's 5 things I did. Focused on what I have. In other words, I was grateful. I gave something back, donating time, money to the soup kitchen, church, whatever. I had personal reflection and awareness, just did some meditation. I kept busy. Okay, even before the internet, I was able to read and keep my mind active, and I relied on others and a deeper sense of meaningful relationship when I found them. End result was, after about 2 years of this medication, I took all the bottles that I had, I flushed them down the toilet. I basically eradicated the depression on my own and never looked back. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the best that I can offer you. Remember, this is personal advice, not medical advice. Do whatever you think is appropriate, but do it on your own. Do not come back to me and say, Bill, this didn't work or this did work. I am telling you what I did. Thank you. Bill Shaka. See you soon.